So this, my first downhill bike.
Now, so I've been on the hunt for my own mountain bike for probably coming up on 2 years now, I'd say. Really didn't know what kind of spec I wanted to go for, what kind of travel. Obviously with the pandemic, stock for brand new bikes has been an issue as well. I was really torn between getting a big travel or medium travel enduro bike, looking at maybe 160mm travel all round or 180mm, or just getting a downhill bike. The perks for an enduro bike being it's more versatile, easier to pedal, whereas with a downhill bike you are slightly limited on the tracks that you can ride. But that being said, to get a good value enduro bike you have to spend a lot more money, particularly in the second-hand market, whereas second-hand downhill bikes come out a little bit more reasonably priced, because a lot of people sort of end up with buyer's remorse. This is my first downhill bike. It won't be my first time ever riding a downhill bike. About 5 years ago I went out with a few mates of mine who ride downhill. Third run I managed to get a bit squirrely on one of the jumps and came off sideways, dislocated my collarbone, popped the collarbone out from under the shoulder blade, basically. It never goes back in. So, yeah, I don't have a huge amount of experience with mountain bikes or downhill bikes. I do have about 10 years riding BMX. I'm hoping those skills will transfer, although I just, from that first experience on a downhill bike with the collarbone, I really am aware that the techniques are so different, it feels so different. So I'm going to start much slower this time, not try and jump in with the big lines on the third go, try and build from the ground up, and hopefully we can make some quick progress. And I just decided it was time to just crack on with it and get a bike. So I found this Trek Session on eBay. The bike I've got is a 2017 Trek Session 8.8, 27.5-inch wheels. That was one of the criteria that I really wanted, was having tried 29ers. For what I really want the bike for, I felt like I needed more control, maneuverability, a little bit easier to flick around in the air. This version is the aluminium frame. I really wanted aluminium frame as well, because like I say, if I'm planning on jumping it and probably casing a few jumps as well, there's always a higher risk of cracking carbon. Travel wise, we've got 210mm travel on the rear on this bike, 200 up front. The fork is the RockShox Boxer. There has been one upgrade, which is the Renthal bars. They've got the fat bars on there, which I really love. Super wide, gives you loads of control. And then tyres, they've gone for the Maxxis Asseguide 2.5-inch. I'm sure tyres will be something that I'll have to dig way more into to really find my preference. So that's the kind of full spec of it. So I guess the only thing to do now is give it its first ride. So just rocked up at Ashton Hill Bike Park, also known as Belmont, 25 minutes away from where I live. So I know there's a few things here that I want to try out, and this is the first ride. I have no idea how it's going to go, but let's give it a crack and get out there. Cheers, lads. Woo! Whew. Oh. Cheers, boys. Right, let's have a look at this left hip line. Woo! Oh, no chance. Ha. Table. Woo! So this is a tidy little table line. It's a little roller into 2 tables and then a bit of a shark fin hip thing. So let's check it out, have a quick look. Right down. Just wrapped up a good session down here at Belmont. Things get pretty massive down at that bottom end, so probably be a few months yet before I can start looking at those. I think the front fork suspension is way too spongy. It just really, if you're hitting a steeper takeoff, it just really sucks your speed out. It's really good for this rooty rocky stuff behind me, but as soon as you want to hit a lip, it just really forces all the speed out of it. So I need to stiffen up that suspension somehow, maybe change the spring. The front mudguard is way too big, way too long, obviously designed for proper racing, but there's a few times when big compressions, it just scrubs on the front wheel. Saddle was also pretty loose, having just bought it, so tighten that up as well. All in all, pretty happy. Decent first ride. Bike seems to be running smoothly, no massive issues. Haven't found any cracks in the frame yet, so